friends. Hope you're doing well. So, question of the day: do you read books? And if so, what books have you read this year that you liked a whole lot? I ask because I am one of my goals this year is to read 50 books, and today I finished. Well, yesterday, last night, it's after midnight. I finished book number 16, which is this book here, if it'll load, Shop Class as Soulcraft by Matthew B. Crawford. Really good book. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I got that recommendation from Van Neistat, who you may know as Casey Neistat's brother. He has a YouTube channel, and it's amazing. If you are into self-reliance, I guess, for lack of a better term, this book is great. His YouTube channel is great, and if you like his YouTube channel, read this book, because he got the name The Spirited Man from this book. But the TLDR about the book is it kind of talks about how the removal of shop class from high schools has kind of caused these ripples that have caused kind of massive problems, and this kind of societal shift from ownership of things to a rentership, for lack of a better term. And it's kind of like, it really goes back to Henry Ford. Like the book is much more interesting than I'm going to talk about it, but these are the things I found interesting. Was the author talks about how Henry Ford brought in the invention of the assembly line, and so instead of having craftspeople build cars, you instead had a person that knew how to do one thing. You just do that one thing over and over and over again, and so you don't have these master builders anymore. You just have clerks, and so society is kind of moving away from this idea of, the shop class where you learn mechanical problem solving, and instead you're kind of taught to be a knowledge worker because it was thought not the worst idea. It just manifested terribly. You don't go to college, become a knowledge worker, but now it's like even knowledge workers are becoming factory, assembly line. You just do this one part of the job. There still are, master accountants, but like in large businesses, you don't have really accountants. You might have one or two that kind of oversee people who do just, one or two, they do accounts receivable. Like that's all they do. And they don't have a scope of the wider picture, and they don't, they might have some semblance of an idea on how to do certain things, but like they don't have the experience, they don't have the mastery to like be like, that's a bad idea and here's why. It's kind of just like, well, that could work, and it's like, could it work? Because a master accountant would be like, no, that's not gonna work, here's why. And so the book in Van Neistat's channel, and there's another guy named Bo Miles who I absolutely love, have really got me interested in learning to do that, because that's always been something I was never about. I was never about building things. I took shop class in middle school. I don't think I took any high school shop classes. I don't feel like it was something I was good at, and so I kind of strayed away from it. And then consequently, when things would break or I had to put something together, I would always ask my little brother to come, like, hey, will you put this thing together for me, and I will buy you a pizza or something. And it was looking back, they were all very simple builds that it's mostly just putting screws in things, and I just was not good at it, and I'm still not great at it, but I am becoming a lot more these people have kind of shifted my perception of it, and I'm finding a lot more enjoyment out of it than I used to. And it's, I don't know, it's really something intangible that I'm like, I think everybody should experience getting some tools and kind of doing some of these simple things, and realizing, I think once you realize how things pieces in under your belt, you feel a lot more capable. You feel, and this kind of goes back to what I was talking about yesterday, where like, with male depression, the man wants to feel powerful and capable. I think one of the fastest ways for you to feel powerful and capable as a man is to fix something that broke. Like it's a good feeling. And I like in the past, I would always be like, well, if I fix it, I'm just gonna be worried it's gonna break again. But now I've kind of successfully fixed a handful of things and realized like, no, if it breaks again, I can just fix it again. Like, not a big deal. And so I don't know how that comes for women or non-binary folks. If that's I don't know where if that factors in. I feel like a lot of women want to be independent, capable. This is one way to do it. It's something to consider. For the non-binary folks, I don't know that world at all. So try it. I can't see anybody trying it and being like, this doesn't appeal to me. I guess it might not appeal to you, and there is some rejections to the idea of like, it's not worth my time to fix things, and that could be true, but I think a lot of the time I don't have time to fix this. It's not worth my time. I could be doing other things with my time is largely an excuse. And especially like when you watch someone like Bo Miles advocate for conservation, and then I've got some friends I've got one friend who lives down in Kansas City now, and what she does is she just repairs clothing. Like that's her full-time job now. She's working advertising and commercial production, and now she has so much work from just mending clothes that's all she does now. And so it's like there's getting those inputs is like sustainability is kind of neat. Like learning how to sew up your pants instead of going out to buy a new pair of pants. Like that's kind of cool. And especially like the way the world is on fire right now, and everything is treated as disposable, and everything is subscription, or what is it? Is it subscription as a service? Things that it's software that I should be able to buy and own. Like Adobe, like my editing software. Like I should be able to own that. As more things become, there's like apps on my phone that I used to just buy the app, and now it's like, do you want to buy no ads each month for this? And you're like, I get it. The developers should be paid, but like, no. Like this, because I don't feel like the value proposition isn't there for me to pay $1 a month ongoing versus just paying $5 up front and being like, have the app, Obviously there's some things Adobe's doing, they're constantly upgrading things, like that's cool, but like also at the same time Adobe's doing a lot of stuff with AI, and I'm like, that's putting creatives out of work. And I don't think Adobe has thought that far ahead, because it's like AI, like that's cool, and like, they're like, a lot of people will be able to use our software now, and like that opens the market. And it's like, no, what's gonna happen is that the people that were paying for your software every month, the independent creators, are going to go away, because they're just gonna go do another job, because you have something that used to take an editor all day to do can now be done by AI replacement, and it's not great, but it's good enough, and it will only get better. And so you're like, okay, you're driving your customers out. Like, I don't think they realize that. That was zoomed in a little bit. I think what I like about this camera is that it has a zoom rocker. I never play with it, but anyway. So that was a tangent that I just got off of. But yeah, this is the idea, and like that's as I'm getting older. Like I want to buy a house, and I think the big appeal of buying a house is because that it's my house. I can do stuff, because there's like things that I don't like about this apartment, but I can't change about them. Like, I don't like the layout of this room at all. There's no good way for me to position my desk in what's called a command position where I can see the door. There just isn't. Like, it's just, there's not enough space to do that. Like, I've got ASMR desk is, but I can't put my main desk here. It just doesn't work. This is the only angle where I can shoot without having a door in the frame, and I've learned that like having a door in the frame is really anxiety inducing, and once someone pointed that out to me, is like, if there's a door in the frame, people expect something to come through it, and when nothing does, it was like, ooh, that was a light bulb moment for me. And it's like, I feel like that made my videos 10% better by itself once I switched this around. I mean, granted, we still have this big black curtain, but like, that's not as bad, you know. And if I open up the blackout curtains and had daylight coming through or something, of course I film all my videos at night. It's 12:55 in the morning. But yeah, so it's just, I want ownership of things. I want to be able to fix them. I want to be able to modify them. I want to be able to customize them. I want, So, yeah, that's... Anyway, what books are you reading? I've got a couple books left. Also, side note, this is not sponsored. I also watched a video from this guy named Internet Shaquille, and he's like, don't stop making that joke. There's this app called Libby. If you get a library card, you can check out audiobooks on this thing. That's insane. That's so cool. Like, it doesn't have all the books, but like, it's got a lot of them, and you can save a bunch of money if you do audiobooks. Download this Libby app, go get a library card, and put your library stuff in it, and you can go check out books for free. And that's crazy. And if you don't read books, try audiobooks. Like, that's how I'm able to read books, because I can't, whatever my ADHD brain or lack of attention span, I'll read the words with my eyeballs, but like, I'll get to a point where I stop. Like, it feels like I pressed mute. Like, the words are still being read, but nothing is just going in the eyes and out into the ether. So I'll end up rereading the same page like over and over and over again. That's part of the reason I did not great in school. It's like, if my textbooks were audiobooks, I probably would have crushed it. Anyway. Yeah, read books. It's great. Yeah, I feel like my personality is changing a lot because of the content I'm consuming and changing the things. And, part of that is also like changing who I'm hanging out with and getting away from negative people and those negative influences and spending more time with positive people who have positive thoughts on things and how to fix things, and like, oh, that's a problem, but like, what are we gonna do about it, as opposed to just like complaining. And then like, that reinforces with like the Ryan Holiday Stoicism books. Ryan Holiday's got great books on Stoicism, and like Jocko Willink's book about extreme ownership, and like, what are you gonna do about the problem? And it's like, yeah, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do something about it. So anyway, yeah, read books. Books are rad. So yeah, that's the thesis of today's video, is that books are rad and ASMR is fun, and I have hacky sack. And here are some crinkle sounds. If you made it this far, here's a little crinkle break. I bought this hacky sack for $2. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Nice. Anyway, I think that's all I got for the day. So, if you're new here and you like this, hit the subscribe button or whatever, or the like button, or leave a comment with your favorite books, because I need some new books now on my Libby. I've actually got like 3. I've got one that I've checked out, but it's only an hour long, so that'll be able to knock that one out, and then another one that's like ready to go, so I'll borrow on that. And that one is 11 hours, so that'll be a little longer. And then I got a couple more in the queue. I've got the Holtz. Let's see, yeah. Some of them are like 4th in line, 1st in line, 2nd in line. Manage Hold. I already have that book. I forgot that I have that book already in Audible. But yeah, get the Libby app. To read some books. Get off the negative stuff. Get off Reddit if you're on Reddit. Or at least go, I found out you can mute subreddits. Go mute all the ones that just give you bad stuff. And focus on living a life of ownership. That's all I got. You know, that's the best advice I can give you. And to do stuff with your hands. Make stuff. Make a YouTube channel. It's easy. You just turn the camera on and you act like, well, I don't want to say you don't act like an idiot, but like, you're gonna hate whatever you make. The first 10 videos are gonna be garbage. So just know that going in and like be like, I'm gonna make this number of videos, and if I don't think by, video 50 I have any sort of, I can't see like the massive improvement from video 1 to video 50, then maybe it's not for you. But like, and if you can't even get to 50, then obviously it's not for you. But give it a chance. Give things chances, and do stuff. It's great. It's fun. I love it. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for watching, and I hope things are going well for you. And if not, I hope that turns around for you here real soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a good one.